Coronation Street has unveiled how it will conclude Dee-Dee Bailey's intense cliffhanger after a harrowing episode that left her fate uncertain. In this evening's installment, Dee-Dee visited Lauren Bolton in the hospital, offering reassurance that Frankie's stem cell transplant would be successful. As Dee-Dee spoke with Lauren, she was suddenly overwhelmed by pain. While resting in a hospital bed, a midwife mistakenly identified her as another patient. After explaining her discomfort, a dismissive midwife advised Dee-Dee to head home, rest, and try using a scented candle. Later, back at her apartment, Dee-Dee's waters broke, forcing her to rush back to the maternity unit in agony. Meanwhile, her father, Ed, desperately searched for someone to assist. When a midwife passed by, she remarked, "She looks like a strong woman to me. Women like you are made for this." Ed was left stunned by the inappropriate remark. After a doctor checked Dee-Dee's blood pressure, he confirmed she was suffering from preeclampsia and that the baby needed to be delivered immediately. She was quickly taken in for an emergency procedure. Following an urgent C-section, Dee-Dee's baby was born. James gently held the newborn girl while Dee-Dee watched, devastated at the thought of handing her over to her brother. Later, a new midwife on duty, who had previously labeled Dee-Dee as aggressive and ignored her concerns, pulled back her sheets, uncovering a pool of blood. She quickly hit the emergency button, and Dee-Dee was rushed into surgery once again. As they anxiously awaited updates on Dee-Dee's condition, Lauren informed Ed and Michael Bailey that Frankie's surgery had been successful, and they in turn told her about Dee-Dee's critical situation. Meanwhile, James lost his composure with a passing doctor, angrily blaming the hospital for his sister's condition. "If anything happens to her, it's on all of you," he warned as the episode came to a tense close. Although Dee-Dee's fate was left hanging in the balance, it has already been revealed that she will have to undergo a hysterectomy due to her medical complications. With the heartbreaking news that she will no longer be able to have children, Dee-Dee must now make the difficult choice of whether to proceed with giving her newborn daughter to her brother James and his partner, Danny. Elsewhere, Dee-Dee takes decisive action. Todd faces a startling revelation, and Jenny receives an unexpected shock. Kevin Webster's behavior takes a downward turn in upcoming episodes, but when his wife Abby crosses paths with his brother Carl, tensions rise and sparks begin to fly. Meanwhile, Debbie Webster receives devastating news, prompting her partner Ronnie Bailey to make a grand and unexpected gesture. In another twist, Todd Grimshaw realizes that his new love interest, Theo Silverton, may not be as perfect as he first seemed, while Jenny Connor is left stunned by an unforeseen announcement. Lastly, Tim Metcalf finds himself craving a fresh challenge, and Kit Green sets his sights on Sarah Platt. Kevin and his son Jack, Kyron Bowes, continue to struggle with their strained relationship, and tensions rise when Jack becomes furious after being grounded by his father. Meanwhile, Tyrone Dobbs, Alan Halsall, hopes to reconcile with Kevin, but Kevin is in no mood to make amends. Glenda Shuttleworth, Jodie Prenger, hesitates to serve him at the Rovers, earning herself a sharp-tongued outburst. When Tyrone arrives, he quickly becomes the focus of Kevin's frustration. Things escalate when Tyrone calls Kevin selfish and mean-spirited, prompting Kevin to lash out and throw a punch. Abby is outraged when she hears about Kevin's aggressive behavior, but when she confronts him, he responds with cruel remarks. Both she and Tyrone start to suspect that Kevin is deliberately pushing them away. Later, Tyrone urges Kevin to stop suppressing his emotions, open up to Abby, and appreciate the people who care about him. Kevin takes the advice to heart, but finds it difficult to connect with Jack. Over at the pub, Kevin, Tyrone, Tim, Ronnie, George Shuttleworth, Tony Maudsley, and Eileen Grimshaw, Sue Cleaver, join in a darts competition, where Kevin finally apologizes to Tyrone. As Tyrone returns home, he is surprised to find that his young son, Doran Pop, has come to stay. Meanwhile, Kevin attempts to mend fences by giving Jack go-karting tickets and surprising Abby with flowers. Just as things seem to be improving, a new source of drama arrives, threatening to shake everything up once again. Abby finds herself in a tense encounter at the Freshco car park while trying to buy anti-sickness tablets for Kevin. A charming stranger named Carl swoops in, attempting to steal her parking space, leading to her accidentally bumping her car. Frustrated, Abby yells that her husband has cancer and, in the heat of the moment, punches Carl in the face. After cooling down, she apologizes, and Carl dismisses it with a casual shrug. When Carl's car refuses to start, Abby offers to take a look under the hood. Impressed, Carl tells her she's both funny and gorgeous, before boldly asking her out for a drink, unaware that they're actually related. Later, Abby shares the parking lot incident with her family, but conveniently leaves out the unexpected spark between her and the mystery man. However, when she returns from the restroom and finds Carl deep in conversation with Debbie and Kevin, realization dawns. Carl is Kevin's brother. As Kevin recounts Abby's dramatic parking lot encounter, will Carl come clean about being the man she clashed with? Meanwhile, Ronnie urges Debbie to report the troublesome Mick McAllis, Joe Layton, to the police, but Debbie insists she'll handle it on her own. In a secluded corner of a hotel bar, she makes a quiet phone call, explaining that she has been dealing with a series of troubling incidents and needs to speak to someone. The next day, Debbie attends a private doctor's appointment, revealing that she has been experiencing a string of unsettling events. Coronation Street will unravel the full story through a series of flashbacks, revealing Debbie's misplaced suspicions toward Mick. She loses her purse and immediately blames him, lashes out at Jack in frustration, has a heated argument with Mick, and later takes a fall in the Ginnel, leading Ronnie to wrongly assume Mick was responsible. Convinced her symptoms are due to menopause, Debbie is blindsided when the doctor suggests she may have suffered a mini-stroke and recommends further testing for vascular dementia. He urges her to be honest with Ronnie, but will she? Throwing herself into work at the hotel, Debbie tries to distract herself, completely unaware that Ronnie has a surprise of his own. In a conversation with Kevin, Ronnie excitedly reveals his plan to propose. Later, while at the hotel bar, Debbie receives a puzzling text from Abby. As she tries to process everything, Ronnie drops by with her forgotten lunch, but she skillfully hides her distress. Over at the cafe, Tim admits to Ronnie that he accidentally let slip about the proposal. Determined not to waste another moment, Ronnie heads straight back to the hotel, presents an engagement ring, and gets down on one knee. But will Debbie accept his proposal, or will her fears hold her back? Amidst the whirlwind of the day and the unexpected reunion with her half-brother Carl, Debbie secretly schedules an appointment at the memory service clinic. The question remains, will she open up to Ronnie? Meanwhile, back at her flat, Dee-Dee vents to Sarah, furious over the way she was treated at the hospital. She reflects on her life-altering surgery, convinced that it could have been prevented. Determined that no one else should endure the same mistreatment she did, Dee-Dee refuses to stay silent. When the midwife visits, she doesn't hold back, making her frustration and disappointment clear. But how will the midwife react to her complaint? Will she take responsibility or dismiss Dee-Dee's concerns once again? Meanwhile, Dee-Dee's exhausted father, Ed, Trevor Michael Georges, stops by the hotel to fix a leaking pipe, leaving baby Layla in Debbie's care. As the week progresses, the pressure starts to weigh on Ed, and he admits he's struggling. Overwhelmed, he confesses that he feels out of his depth and worries that Layla deserves better than what he can provide. But where does this leave the family? And will Dee-Dee's fight for justice be taken seriously? Elsewhere, Theo apologizes to Todd for his past behavior, admitting that he genuinely likes him. Todd, willing to give him a chance, invites Theo back to his place. However, he is caught off guard when Theo later books a funeral with Shuttleworths. Todd is stunned by what he uncovers during the process and confides in Billy Mayhew, Daniel Brocklebank, who warns him to stay away from Theo. Tensions rise when Theo unexpectedly shows up at Todd's back door, angering Billy. However, Todd soon shifts his focus to supporting his terminally ill aunt, Julie Karp, Katie Kavanagh. Wanting to grant her final wish, he suggests setting up a crowdfunding page to send her on her dream holiday before time runs out. But later, in a shocking turn, Theo desperately begs a furious Todd not to cause a scene at his mother-in-law's funeral. What exactly is Theo hiding, and will Todd listen to Billy's warning? It appears Theo has been hiding a major secret. He's actually a married man. But will Todd blow the whistle on his deceit, or will he keep quiet? In our next episode, we dissect another shocking collision, analyzing the crucial split-second decisions that could have changed everything. Don't miss out. Hit subscribe and stay safe on the road.